Yes, let's start the lesson. Hello, everyone. Hello, starting, please. Let's start with a good afternoon, a hello in the chat. Greetings are very important. Hello, Fabian. Hello, Adriana. Yes, hello, everyone. You can write hello. You can write hi. Okay, good evening. Excellent. Hello. Very good. Hello. Good afternoon. Michelle. Merly, hi. Okay, good evening. Excellent. Okay, thanks for saying hello in the chat. Okay, tell me, how are you today? I am really excited for the class. What about you? How are you? Or how's it going? Hello, Demont. So you can say, how do you feel today? Okay, Mercedes is also excited for the class. Okay, Schubert is fine. Kenya is good. Excellent. Maribel is also fine. Okay, who else? Who else is in the class? You can say, I'm fine, I'm great. I am so happy, Natalie. Excellent. Okay, I'm so happy. Really excited for the course. Very good. Funny, thank you. Okay, so thanks for sharing about how do you feel in the chat. Yes, Mayra is also great. And tell me, what day is it? What day is it today? Is it Monday? Is it Saturday? It's Friday. Good job. Today is Friday. Friday. Excellent. I love Fridays. Friday is my favorite day of the week. I really like Fridays. Yes, today is Friday. We say Friday, the 19th of April in 2024, right? That is today's date. Friday, 19th. Yes, the 19th of April, 2024. Okay, so I am so excited to share today's class. Okay, so I really hope you all can participate. Yes, please try to participate in the chat. And remember, turn on your microphone when you participate, but when you don't, turn it off. Okay, turn off your microphone when you don't participate. Okay, so let me share my screen. Yes, and today, let's talk about preferences. This is really interesting. We are going to express our preferences. Which things do you prefer? Yes, so to express our preferences, first, we need to remember, yes, some verbs. In English, we have a lot of verbs. For example, okay, let me show you this. What is it? What is that? What is the verb here?
To eat, comer.
To eat.
To eat.
As you can see in the pictures, is to eat. So I say, I prefer eating ceviche to pizza. What does it mean? That means that I prefer ceviche than pizza. Okay? Prefer eating. So I add to the verb what? The ing. I prefer eating ceviche to pizza. Yes. Could you make an example? For example, I prefer eating pollo a la brasa to anticuchos. Okay. Do you have another example? What do you prefer eating? I prefer eating fruits to vegetables, maybe. Okay, you can write examples in the chat, yes, about what do you prefer eating. I'm going to read them. Okay, what do you prefer eating? I prefer eating tonga to mote. Okay, good. I prefer eating rice. Okay, rice to eggs, maybe. I prefer eating tonga to mote. Okay, I've read that. I prefer eating cheese 2 empanadas. Don't forget, 2 empanadas. I prefer eating chicken to fish. Good job. I prefer summer to winter. I prefer eating arroz con mariscos to ceviche. Good job. I prefer eating Mexican food to Peruvian food, maybe. I prefer eating pizza to sushi. To sushi. Prefer to eat pizza. Okay, but let's use the construction that I show you. I prefer eating pizza to pollo a la brasa, for example. Yes, using to. Let's use to. And today, let's learn more about, okay, actions and how to share our preferences. Yes. So let's continue with the next verb. Yes, the next verb is about, okay, let me show you. Let me share my screen. Just give me a moment. Here we have, okay, we are in eating. Yes, eating. I prefer eating bananas to tangerines. Okay, good job. That's about our preferences. Personal opinion. Okay, so we have eating. What about this? What is the verb here?
Drink.
To drink, yes. So I can say, I prefer drinking lemonade to soda because I don't like soda. Okay, I don't like that much. I prefer drinking lemonade to soda. What about you? What do you prefer drinking? You can say, I prefer drinking coffee to tea. I prefer drinking lemonade to, what else? To wine. Yes. Okay. So let's see some of your examples in the chat. I prefer drinking water to Coke. Excellent. Water is healthy. Better. I prefer drinking coffee to tea. I prefer drinking beer. Okay. Yeah, depends. Good job. Let's go to the next. What is it? What is the verb?
Sleep.
It is to sleep. So I say, I prefer to sleep or sleeping.
Sleeping.
Sleeping, yes. I prefer sleeping early, late. I prefer sleeping early to late. Or I prefer sleeping at 10 o'clock to maybe 7 o'clock because it's too early. So you can make your example in the chat. I prefer sleeping early to late, or maybe I prefer sleeping late to early because I am a night person. What do you prefer sleeping? What time maybe? Is there any comments in the chat? I prefer sleeping. I'm going to write it. I prefer sleeping. Very good. In my bedroom, to an hotel. To an hotel. To a hotel. Yes. So I prefer sleeping in my bedroom to a hotel. I prefer sleeping at 10 to middle 9. Okay. I prefer sleeping on Saturdays afternoons to Mondays. Okay, good job. Thank you. Let's go to the next. Do you know what is the verb?
Study. To read.
To study.
To study.
Yeah, but it's also possible to read. So let's make an example with to study. I prefer studying English to French. I prefer studying math to literature. Okay, so make examples. I prefer studying in my home to the school. Okay. You can say at home. I prefer studying at home to the school. I prefer studying math to science. Okay, science can be a little bit difficult, right? I prefer studying English to Portuguese. Good. Thank you for your examples. Let's go to the next verb. This one, look at the pictures and tell me. What is it? What is it? Work. To work. I prefer working at home to an office, maybe. I prefer working at home to an office because go to an office can be a little bit tired. So you can say, I prefer working at home to an office. Yes, I prefer working, don't forget working with ing. I prefer working in the morning to the afternoon. Good. I prefer studying online. Okay, I prefer studying online. I prefer working early to late. Good. Excellent. Let's go to another one. What about this? What is the action? It is walk, but it's another one.
Walking.
Two letters.
Sorry, to walk.
To walk.
In this case, to go. Okay, to walk is also possible, yes. So you can say, I prefer going to the beach. Okay, I prefer going to the beach, to the swimming pool. I prefer going to the supermarket. Okay, I prefer going to the supermarket to a small store. Yes, so you can make questions, not questions in this case, sentences. I prefer going to the supermarket. I prefer walking to take a bus. Good job. I prefer going to the beach. Don't forget to make a comparison, okay? Because we are comparing two things. I prefer going to the theater. Good. Cinema. The band. Good. Excellent. Okay. This one is when we were children, we loved to do this activity. To, you know what is it?
Maybe play?
Yes, you are right.
Play?
To play. I prefer playing video game to internet. I prefer playing volleyball to soccer. I prefer playing tennis to what else? Yes. Do you prefer playing soccer to golf? Okay. Good job. I prefer playing, don't forget the ing, playing soccer to basketball. Excellent. Is there another one? I prefer playing indoor games to outdoor games. Excellent. I prefer playing Mario Bros. Games to the soccer video games. Yeah, okay. It's about preferences, as I mentioned.
¿Se dice game cards?
Yes, you're right.
Of cards.
I prefer...
Of cards?
Maribel, do you have a question?
Sorry, teacher.
Yes, don't worry. If you have a question, you can tell me. Yes, and don't forget it is playing. I prefer playing basketball to video games. Yes, I prefer playing basketball to video games. What else do we have here? This is to listen. I prefer listening to salsa to cumbia. I prefer listening to a podcast, to the radio. So what do you prefer listening? Maybe you prefer listening folk, you prefer listening pop, rock. I prefer listening rock to, what else? Another genre, to K-pop, for example. It's very popular nowadays. Good. Podcast in English to music. Okay. In that way, you learn more. Excellent. I prefer playing soccer. Okay. I prefer listening romantic music to salsa music. I prefer listening classic music to rock. Excellent, Isabel. I prefer listening classic music to rock. Good job. The next one is to read. What do you prefer reading? I prefer reading romantic books to horror books. What about you? I prefer reading romantic books to horror books because I don't like horror books. What about you? Reading with read. I prefer reading to. Maybe you say me while reading. When we use to and when we compare two things, we use the ing. I prefer reading online newspapers to a book. Excellent example. I prefer reading romantic books to physics books, okay, or science books. I prefer reading books to newspapers. Yes. I prefer reading comics to novels. Excellent. Who says comics to novels? Fanny. Good job, Fanny. Good job. Okay, so you are sharing your preferences. I love that. Now, dance. What do you prefer dancing? I prefer dancing cumbia to salsa. I prefer dancing marinera to guayno, maybe. I prefer dancing jazz to pop. So what do you prefer dancing? Maybe you love dancing salsa. I prefer dancing bachata to cumbia, for example. I prefer dancing salsa to cumbia. I prefer dancing salsa to vals. Yes, vals is a slow dance, right? I prefer dancing to, I prefer dancing tropical sounds to what? To rock, to cumbia. I prefer dancing saya caporal to reggaeton. Yes, caporals are the best. Very good. I prefer dancing reggaeton to rock. Yes, reggaeton is very popular. Okay, thank you. So that is dancing. What do you prefer dancing? Now, what do you prefer to watch? Okay, let's repeat, okay, this vocabulary about movies and series. Yes? So here we have action films, adventure films, science fiction films, okay, science fiction films. What else? Romantic films, comedy films, animation films, horror films, and series. I prefer watching series to action movies. I prefer watching horror movies to animation. Yes? Okay? So, here is the vocabulary. Please create your sentences. What do you prefer watching? What do you prefer watching? I prefer watching. I prefer watching. Okay, let me see your examples. Okay, I prefer watching suspense movies to comedies. I prefer watching romantic films. I prefer watching comedy films to animation films. I prefer watching history series to horror stories or horror series. I prefer watching comedy to action. I prefer watching action to romantics. Okay, good job. Excellent.
Teacher,
So,
tengo una pregunta.
yes, tell me.
Tengo una duda. ¿Por qué va el tú? Por ejemplo, I prefer watching coming to action.
Yes. In this
¿Por qué?
case, we are comparing.
Ujú.
What
Ah,
do we like
comparación.
the most? Yes. Okay, for example, if I say, give me a moment, we are in watching, right? So here, I say, I'm going to explain this later, but I say I prefer watching, okay, watching horror, or I prefer, yes, horror movies to romantic movies. This sentence means I like romantic movies. Yes or no? Do I like romantic movies? If I say, I prefer watching horror movies to romantic movies. So, according to this sentence, I like romantic movies?
No.
No,
No, no. No,
right?
teacher.
I prefer horror movies. So, I'm making a comparison. Another one. I prefer eating pollo a la brasa to pizza. Okay, I prefer eating pollo a la brasa to pizza. In this case, what is the best for me? Pollo a la brasa or pizza?
Pollo a la brasa.
Pollo a la brasa.
Pollo a la
Pollo a la
brasa.
brasa.
Oye, la verdad.
Yes, pollo a la brasa is the best. I love pollo a la brasa. Pizza, no much. So that's why I say I prefer eating pollo a la brasa to pizza.
Pizza.
Yes,
I
to
love the
pizza.
pizza.
So we are making a comparison, right? We are comparing. Is that clear?
Yes, teacher.
Yes, okay. So we continue making examples with more verbs. For example, cooking. I prefer cooking at home to eating in a restaurant. Homemade is the best. I prefer cooking at home to eating in a restaurant. That means that cooking at home is better for me. Eating in a restaurant, no. I don't like eating in a restaurant. My sentence is, I prefer cooking at home to eating in a restaurant. Yes? So let me see your examples. I prefer cooking beef to vegetables. Good. I prefer cooking arroz con pollo to arroz con mariscos, because arroz con mariscos is very difficult. Very difficult. So I prefer cooking arroz con pollo to arroz con mariscos. Yes? Good job. Okay, I think that part is clear. Yes, I prefer cooking desserts to meat. Yes, sweet food is delicious. I prefer cooking Peruvian food to Chinese food. In this case, Nestor is saying that he prefers Peruvian food. Chinese food, no much. I prefer arroz con pollo, pollo a la brasa. Yes, in this case, we are talking about dishes, so we don't translate. Yes, don't translate. Ceviche, for example. How do you say ceviche in English, miss? Ceviche doesn't have translation because they are dishes, okay? Yes, it's ceviche. Yes, ceviche. Okay, let's go to, so you prefer cooking pizza to pollo a la brasa, maybe. Swim. I prefer swimming in a swimming pool to the beach, because maybe in the beach is very dangerous. So I prefer swimming in a swimming pool or in a pool. Yes. What do you prefer swimming? I prefer swimming with my dog to alone. I prefer swimming with my dog to alone, because with my dog, I feel safe. I feel safe. Alone, no, I'm afraid. Yeah. So I prefer swimming with my dog to alone. Yes, I prefer swimming maybe in the mornings. Please, use microphones when you are not participating. Okay, I prefer swimming in open water too in the pool. Very good. Maybe you are a good swimmer, I think. I prefer swimming in the pool to the beach. Okay, good. Excellent. Okay, so someone is raising your hand. Eliberto, do you have any questions?
Not really. Everything is clear.
Everything is clear. Good job. Thank you. I prefer swimming in the morning to the evening. Excellent. Let me see, is there another verb? Yes, to sing. This is about singing. I prefer singing alone to in front of people. I prefer singing alone in my bedroom to in front of people, because in front of people, I feel nervous. Yes? So what do you prefer singing? Maybe I prefer singing English music to Spanish music. I prefer singing salsa to romantic music. Yes, that means that I prefer salsa. And romantic music, no much. Yes, I prefer singing karaoke with my friends too in the bathroom. Okay, that means that is better in a karaoke, right? Excellent, Anna. Good example. I prefer singing a karaoke with my friends too alone. Very good, Mauricio. Yes, with friends, everything is better. I prefer singing in the bus to the street. Okay, good job. I prefer singing pop music to lyric music. I prefer singing in my room. Okay, excellent. Thank you. That is about singing. Let's go to drive, and I think drive is the last one. Yes. I prefer driving alone to, or maybe I prefer driving a car to riding a bike. I prefer driving a car to riding a bike. What do you prefer? Or maybe you prefer riding a bike to driving a car because you don't have a car. What do you prefer? Oh, okay, a car to a van. Okay, driving in the mountain to the city. Good job. A bike. You prefer? Okay. Remember, when we use bike, it is riding. Riding. I prefer riding a bike to driving a car. Okay, in this case, we are using two different verbs. Okay, so now it's time to see if you understand, and let's do individual participation. Don't forget, I prefer driving, I prefer listening, I prefer singing, I prefer studying. Yes? And let's do it here. Give an example with prefer. For example, if I open one of these colors and I open color purple, that is, what is the action here? Is play. So I say, I prefer playing with my friends to alone. I prefer playing with my friends to alone. That is my example. Yes? So you need to open one color and tell me an example as fast as possible, okay? You have to do it very quickly. So for this activity, please raise your hand. Yes, raise your hand to participate. Let me see. Yes, you have to raise your hand. And let's see who's raising hands. Okay, brave people in the class. Very good. Let's start with Eliberto. Yes, good job. Eliberto, please open a color. Purple is already done.
I don't know how to open a color.
You just tell me the color and I open it.
Okay, good. Okay, good. Red.
Let's see. So what is the verb?
Drive.
The verb is dancing or singing.
Okay, I prefer dancing salsa to merengue.
Excellent. Thank you. Good. Let's see. And let's go to the next one. Who's the next one? Mauricio. Are you ready, Mauricio?
Yes, teacher.
Okay. So we have already opened color red and color purple. Let's go. Can you see my screen?
Wait. Yes. The orange.
The orange. Let's see.
I prefer drink coffee.
Drinking.
I prefer drinking coffee than a tea.
Okay. I prefer drinking coffee to tea. To tea.
Tea.
Yeah, good job. Thank you. Very good, Mauricio. You prefer drinking coffee to tea. And when it's very cold, it's delicious. Continue, Anna. Anna, what color should I open?
Pink, please.
Let's go to color pink.
Work.
Yeah,
I prefer work at home to in the office.
I prefer working.
I prefer working at home to in the office.
Excellent. Good example. Thank you. Thanks for sharing. Now, let's go to Mayra. Please, Mayra, what color?
Yes, teacher. The green one. The green
The green one. Okay.
one. Yeah. Sleep, right?
Yes, lip.
Okay. I prefer sleeping um to to cook.
Okay, you prefer sleeping to cooking.
Cooking. Yes. Sorry.
Me too. Yes. I love sleeping and not cooking at all. Thank you. Natalie, what color?
Black.
Okay, let's go to color black.
I prefer walking on the beach to the river.
Good job. Mhm. Yes, very relaxing walking at the beach. Mercedes, what color?
Blue, please.
Blue.
I prefer eating fruits than salad.
You prefer eating fruits to salads?
To salads, yeah.
Okay, excellent. But why? Salads are also healthy. Thank you. Kenya.
Yellow.
Okay, let's go to yellow. So what's your example?
Where's the verb? I don't
You
see.
didn't open it? Oh,
Sorry. Study, right?
yes.
I prefer study English to French.
Okay, yes. French is difficult for you?
I never studied that.
Okay, I've never studied French. But let me
Uh-huh.
tell you that French is, yes, it's more difficult.
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, let's go to Kenya, you already participated, right?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. And Adriana, let's go to Adriana. Oh,
Sky blue. Okay. I prefer reading fantasy books to romantic books.
good job. More interesting. Excellent. And let's go to the last one. And this one is for Flor. Are you ready, Flor?
Yes, teacher.
Okay.
I prefer listening listening cumbia to reggaeton.
Good job. Excellent. I prefer listening cumbia to reggaeton. Okay. So that was to remember the vocabulary. Now let's see some rules of this. Language for expressing preferences. You said, Miss, why ing? Okay, when we want to express our preferences, we use this structure. Prefer plus a noun. You know, a noun can be an object, can be a sport, a person, a place, okay? Or a gerund. Do you know what is a gerund? What is a gerund? This is a gerund.
ing.
ing. For example,
ing.
reading is a gerund. Writing is a gerund. Okay? And a noun, tennis is a noun. Soccer is a noun. What else? Peru is a noun. For example, I prefer Peru to Colombia, maybe. I prefer Peru to the United States. That means that I prefer Peru. And the United States, not much. Yeah. So this is the form. Prefer plus a noun or a gerund to, and a noun or a gerund against. And we use it to talk about general preferences. For example, I prefer tennis to soccer. Yes. Please, who else is? Fanny, read number 2, 3, and 4, please.
Okay. I prefer reading to writing. She prefers listening to music to watching TV. Martin prefers cleaning the kitchen to the bathroom.
Good job. Excellent. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. So, prefers listening to music to watching TV. Here I'm using verb number 1 and the gerund number 2. These are gerunds, right? But what happened in number 4? Martin prefers cleaning the kitchen, cleaning the kitchen to the bathroom. Miss, why you didn't say Martin prefers cleaning the kitchen to cleaning the bathroom? Why? Do you know? Because in number 3, she prefers listening to music to watching TV. Number 4 should be Martin prefers cleaning the kitchen to cleaning the bathroom. But why is not possible to say cleaning?
It's the same verb.
Exactly. Good job. When we are talking about the same verb, it's not necessary to repeat it. Yes? So Martin prefers cleaning the kitchen to cleaning the bathroom. It doesn't sound good. So you say Martin prefers cleaning the kitchen to the bathroom. But when it's a different verb, for example, listening to music and watching TV, it's necessary. Okay, it's necessary to write both verbs. Okay, do you have a questions until here? Any questions? Is all clear? Because we have
Yes.
more. Okay.
Yes, teacher.
Don't forget to tell me if you have any questions. Okay, there are other ways to share our preferences. Okay, this one is the most common. I prefer tennis to soccer. I prefer reading to writing. But there are other ways. For example, using the prefer infinitive. This is infinitive. To listen is the infinitive, and gerund is listening with ing. Okay, the infinitive to listen, gerund, listening. So in this case, I use prefer, the infinitive with to. Infinitive with to. So I say to listen. He prefers to shop online rather than the infinitive without to. Okay, so I say he prefers to shop online rather than go to a shopping center. It's not possible to say rather than to go to a shopping center. No. Okay, so I start with to shop, to listen, to watch, rather than go, rather than listen, rather than be. Yes, it's not necessary to say to be, to go, to listen, to watch in the second verb. It's not necessary. Another example. Please read this example. Who wants to read example number 2? Is there a volunteer for reading?
Me, teacher.
Okay, go ahead.
I prefer to have a few close friends rather than be very popular.
Excellent. Rather than be very popular. So in the first verb, I say to have. I prefer, it's not possible, I prefer have. No, I prefer to have a few close friends rather than be very popular. Is it okay to say to be? To be very popular? No. Yes, no. The to, okay, to always in the first one, in the verb number 1. Yes, that is. And let's see another one. Number 2. Prefer gerund, this is the gerund, the ing, rather than and another gerund. Okay? She prefers spending time outside rather than staying at home. He prefers driving rather than walking to work. Okay? So in this case, I use gerunds. You can use this, you can use number 2, and also you can use the first one to express your preferences. You prefer. The one that you like the most, you use. If for you, maybe this one is easy, you use it. Okay? Or maybe number 1, number 2, depends on you. Yes? And the last one, this, would rather. This is very famous. I would rather see a film than go to a concert this evening. In this case, I say to see, no. I say seeing with ing, no. It's just see. When we use would rather, the verb goes alone, see. I would rather see a film than go to a concert this evening. Okay, without to. It's not necessary to use to. I would rather to see a film? No, I would rather see a film. And let's see more examples. We have example number 2. Please, a volunteer for reading example number 2. This one, number 2.
Me, teacher.
Okay, go
I
ahead.
I start?
Yes.
Oh, okay. The number 2.
Exactly.
I much rather live in a house than in a flat.
Excellent. Good job. Okay. And I'd much rather live in a house than live in a flat. Is that okay to say live? Live?
No, it's the same verb.
It's the same verb, so I'd omit it. Okay, it's not necessary to repeat because it's the same verb. In this one, in number 1, the verbs are different. That's why I use different verbs. In number 2, it is the same verb, so I don't repeat it. Yes? And you can say, I would rather or I would much rather. This is the abbreviation. I would is the abbreviation, or the abbreviation of I would is I'd. I would rather or I'd rather. Yes, I'd rather. So please repeat with me. Turn on your microphones. I would rather.
Teacher, una pregunta.
Okay. I would rather. And I'd much rather.
Teacher, una pregunta.
Just give me a moment. Let's repeat and then your question. Yes?
Okay.
Excellent. I'd much rather.
I'd much rather.
I'd much rather.
Yes. This letter D is good. Is the abbreviation, the short form. Yes? Okay, now, tell me your question.
¿El had en pasado tiene contracción? Porque parece que es la misma contracción que el would.
Have.
Sí, en pasado.
Yes. You say I'd.
Exacto. ¿Y cómo yo puedo diferenciarlo?
Yes. Okay, good question. So, for example, when we use the past perfect, I had been, okay, I've been is I had been, and I would visit. I would visit. Okay, in this one, number one, okay, you use the short form when it is the past perfect. Only the past perfect. When you said I had a dog, it's not okay to say I'd had a dog. Okay, you use the short form only when it's about the past perfect. I'd had been is I'd been. Okay, and in number two, I would visit is I'd visit, right? I visit. So what is the difference between this I would and I've been? I had been, this verb is the past participle. Do you know the past participle? Yes?
Yes, teacher.
And visit, is past participle visit?
No.
Visit is?
No. Present.
The present, the infinitive, right? The verb in infinitive, visit. In that way, you make the difference, okay? You know. But as I told you, only when it's the past perfect, you make the abbreviation. I'd been, or I'd gone, okay? In that way, you know when to use I would and when to use I had in this case. And that's it. But maybe you don't know much about the past perfect. Don't get confused. So don't use abbreviations yet. Yes, don't use abbreviations yet. Just here, I much rather. Okay, because when it's I would rather, I much rather, or I'd rather, when you use rather, that means that you are talking about your preferences. When you listen, I rather prefer, oh, okay. She's talking about preferences. She's not talking about past perfect, okay? Not at all. Okay, I hope it is clear. It was clear? Yes or not?
Yes, teacher.
Okay. Okay, so I show you this one that is the easiest. I prefer tennis to soccer. You prefer to shop online rather than go. She prefers spending time outside rather than staying at home. I would rather see. And this one. I tend to prefer learning English to Spanish. This one is very similar to this. But what is the difference? Tend to. It's another way to say it. I tend to prefer learning English to Spanish, or I prefer learning English to Spanish. It's the same. Yes, I tend to prefer pollo a la brasa to anticuchos. I prefer pollo a la brasa to anticuchos. It's the same. Yes, it's the same. So, you can express your preferences. As you are an intermediate level, you should use these expressions. Instead of saying, I like cooking than eating in a restaurant, yes, I like is okay, I love is okay, but as you are an intermediate level, you can use another forms, okay? You can use other ways to express your preferences. So you sound like an intermediate level. Now, it's time to practice. If you have a question, tell me, please. Yes, it's time to practice here. Find the mistake. I prefer to have one dog rather than to take care of a baby. What is the mistake? I prefer.
In the second, two is bad?
Yes, exactly. It's not necessary to say rather than to take, right? Remember, to have, to is correct. In the second verb, to is not necessary. I prefer to have one dog rather than take care of a baby. Excellent. Okay, good job. Another one.
It's only I would rather go, not to go.
Yeah, good job. I'd rather go to the beach than. Is there another mistake?
Maybe into to the swimming pool too.
Yeah.
Two.
Excellent, too. When I use I rather, I would rather, to is not necessary in any verb, not in the first, not in the second. I rather go to the beach than go to the swimming pool. That's all. Yes, to is not necessary. This one. Very easy.
Cooking, the second cooking is not necessary.
Excellent. Yes, because it's the same verb, cooking. I tend to prefer cooking pizza to spaghetti. Okay, good job. This one.
I prefer to draw.
Drawing.
Excellent. I prefer drawing to painting.
Painting.
Yes, the ing. I prefer drawing to painting. I prefer draw, no. I prefer to draw, no. I prefer drawing. The gerund, drawing. This one. I prefer to dance in salsa to music, to cumbia.
I prefer dancing salsa
I
to
prefer
cumbia.
dancing salsa. Not to.
To is not necessary. I prefer dancing salsa to cumbia. Good job. What about Manuel?
Manuel
To write.
Prefers
The
to
first two
write?
is not necessary. It's only Manuel prefers reading a bike rather than to driving a car.
There are two mistakes.
The second two is bad.
Not necessary. Good. Excellent. Manuel prefers riding a bike rather than driving a car. Manuel prefers to riding? Not possible. Every time you find prefers, the ing. Okay? Manuel prefers riding, Manuel prefers driving, cooking, eating, etc. Okay, now, here we have a text about preferences, and we are using all the forms that I show you: prefer, rather than, would rather. Okay, so I need volunteers. You know that I love when you read text. So I need 4 volunteers, okay, for these 4 paragraphs. And let's understand. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Which ones? Okay, number 1, who wants to start? When it comes to hobbies.
Me?
Okay, what's your name?
Kenya.
Okay, go ahead, please.
When it comes to hobbies and what people like, everyone has their favorites. Some people like reading more than watching TV, enjoying a good book instead of staring at the screen. Others prefer hiking or hiking,
Hiking.
hiking. Others prefer hiking over biking, liking the road, trails, and pretty views more than riding a bike.
Okay, is there another volunteer for number 2?
Me, teacher.
Okay, go ahead.
Lots of folks enjoy cooking, with some liking baking better than really enjoying the precise measurements and sweet smells rather than the smoke dust of frying like rice. Some like plating more than sculpting fingers toy in painting on a canvas rather than shaping clay.
Okay, good job. Thank you. Okay, let's go to number 3.
Me, teacher.
Okay, go please.
In terms of free time, there are those who prefer spending their time gardening than going to busy events, finding peace and painting and caring for plants rather than being in crowded places. Similarly, some people would rather travel to quiet places than busy cities, seeking adventures in untouched places instead of busy streets.
Busy streets. Excellent. Okay, and the last one, number 4. What's your name?
Schubert.
Okay.
Mi teacher.
Basically, everyone has different things they enjoy, whether it's reading, hiking, cooking, painting, gardening, or traveling.
Excellent. Very good. So there are many things people love doing, right? And they express their preferences. Some of them, okay, for example, here we have some of them prefer spending their time gardening than going to busy events. Do you know what is gardening?
Jardinería.
Yes. Working with plants, that is gardening, right? Okay, now let's highlight, highlight the preferences of these people. Okay, let me use my highlighter pen. This. Okay, for example, some people are... Okay, here we have want comparison. Some people like reading more than watching TV. This is a way to express preferences, more than watching TV. Is there another one? Where you use prefer rather than?
Others prefer hiking over biking.
Excellent, good job. Others prefer hiking over biking. Over is another way to express preferences, okay? As I told you, there are a lot. Okay, let's go to another one.
Enjoying a good book instead of staring at a screen.
Instead.
Good. Is in the second paragraph?
Yes.
Oh,
The
it's here,
online.
right? Instead of staring at a screen. Excellent. You can say, enjoying a good book instead of is also a way to make a comparison and express preferences. In the second paragraph,
Teacher, in the first paragraph, it's liking the route trails and pretty views, marked and riding a bike.
yes, here we have more than. Excellent, more than. Good job. Okay, let's move on to the next paragraph. Enjoy the practice. You find it?
Enjoy the practice.
Measurements and
sweet smell right there.
Excellent.
Yes.
Rather than. Here we have rather than the smoky taste of grilling.
Better than.
Rather than. You know, rather than. Okay, another one.
Better than.
More than. Better than. Excellent. And there is one more.
Rather than shaping.
Painting and canvas rather than shaping clay.
Yes, excellent. Next one, 3. In terms of free time,
there are those who better spending their time gardening than going to boost events.
This one, busy. Busy events.
Busy events.
Excellent, busy events. Okay, another one.
Rather than.
Finding peace in planting and caring for plants rather than being in a crowded places.
Excellent. Yes, they prefer what? Caring for plants rather than being in crowded places. Crowded places are these places where there are a lot of people. For example, Gamarra is a crowded place. A lot of people. Yes? Continue.
Some people
Some
would
people would rather
travel to quiet place than busy cities.
Than busy cities. Good job. And we have instead of here. Excellent. And that's all. As you can see in this text, we found a lot of expressions that express preferences. Yes? And you can use the ones that you like the most. Instead, rather than, prefer, depends on you. Yes? So, let's make examples using prefer, rather than, I would rather, I'd much rather, I tend to prefer. With these two pictures, we have picture number 1. What's picture number 1?
Pizza.
Pizza. Pizza. And number 2?
Ceviche.
Ceviche.
Okay, now let's make an example. What would it be?
I prefer eating pizza rather than ceviche.
Okay, yes. Or I prefer eating pizza to ceviche. Right? Excellent. Thank you. Okay, now I'm going to show another picture, another 2 pictures. And if you have your example, you tell me, Miss. Lionel. Okay, Lionel, tell me your example. Okay, you say your name. This is the versus. Who says me?
Me, Mercedes.
Me, teacher.
Mercedes. Go ahead, Mercedes.
I prefer watching TV to walking in the park.
Okay, thank you. In my case, I prefer walking in the park to watching TV. Excellent. Thank you. Next one, another versus.
Me, teacher.
Your name?
Mari.
Mari. Go ahead, Mari.
I prefer Zumba. No, aerobics to gym.
Okay, you prefer aerobics to the gym. Yes, the gym can be a little bit difficult, right? I understand. Thank you. Excellent example. Another versus.
Me, teacher.
Your name, please?
Schubert.
Okay, go ahead.
I prefer watching two terror films to comedy films.
Okay, excellent. I prefer watching horror films to comedy films. Good job. Very good. I don't like horror movies. I can't sleep at night when I watch a horror movie. For example, The Conjuring was terrible for me. Let's see. Next. This versus. Every day means from Monday to Sundays. Every day. Every other day. You say, for example, Monday, yes, Tuesday, no. Wednesday, yes, Thursday, no. What do you prefer?
Me, teacher.
Okay, what's your name?
Flor.
Okay, Flor.
I prefer take a shower every day to every other day.
Yes, don't forget taking
shower every day to every other day.
Excellent, good job. I prefer taking a shower every day to every other day. Okay, we need to take a shower every day. Good. This versus.
Me, teacher.
Okay, please tell me your name.
Mercedes.
Okay, go ahead.
I prefer drinking orange juice to soda.
Yeah, very good. It's healthier. Orange juice to soda. What about this?
Me, teacher.
Okay, go ahead.
I prefer swimming in the pool to swimming in the beach.
To swimming at the beach.
At the beach.
Excellent.
Okay,
Very
thank
good. Yes, don't forget, I prefer, or maybe I tend to prefer. Okay. What about this? What do you think?
Me?
Okay, go ahead, please.
I prefer eating out to eating into house at home.
At home.
At home. Okay.
Okay, so you prefer eating out. Okay, good. In a restaurant, maybe. Excellent. Okay, now it's time for you to make your own examples. Okay, it's time for you to make your own examples. I show you here a lot of examples. Yes. And now it's time for you to make it in the chat. Yes, in the chat. 4 examples. 4. You are ready to do 4 examples because you are intermediate level. Okay, you can use prefer, you can use prefer plus the infinitive, you can use would much rather, would rather, or I tend to prefer, the one that you like the most. Yes? So please start writing in the chat your own examples using your own information. Yes, using your own information. So here, the 4 examples in one message. Don't send one example, the next. No. All the examples in one message. Yes, so write 4 examples using the vocabulary learned. Yes, we have learned a lot today. Prefer, rather than, etc., etc. Okay, so I wait for your messages. 2 minutes, I think is okay. Yes, 2 minutes.
Teacher, sorry, please, can you share your screen?
Of course, yes.
Yes, please, to follow the examples, please.
Good job. Yes, don't worry. Just give me a moment. Where is it? Okay, there you are. You can see it, right? Yes, can you see my?
Teacher.
Okay,
Yes.
got it. Yes, go. Please use your imagination, yes? And create your activities. Yeah, 1 minute more. It is okay if you haven't done the 4 examples. Yes, 2 or 3, at least 2, please. Yes, send your examples. If you create your examples, that means that you understood the class. Excellent, Adriana. I see your 4 examples. Yes, please start sending your examples. In 1 minute, we start reading some of them. Yes, I'm going to ask for your participation to read. Okay, it's time. Yes. Good, Mayra. Yes, please send your messages. It is okay if you have done just 2 or 3 examples. Yes, don't worry. And don't forget, I is always in capital letter. Yes, the pronoun I always in capital letter. Capital letter means mayúsculas. I in capital letters. This is incorrect. Okay, that I is incorrect. In English, I is always in capital letters. So you have sent 4, 3 examples. Please read 2 examples to the class. 2. Okay, if you have created 4 examples, it's okay, but read 2. Okay, read 2 of them. If you are a volunteer, please raise your hand. Oh, let's see who have sent. Kenya. Kenya, please. Would you read 2 of your examples?
Yes, I prefer watching TV to go at cinema. I prefer going at clothes store rather than buying online.
Good job. Excellent. I prefer watching TV to go to the cinema. To go
Okay.
to the cinema.
To the cinema.
In this case, we say to the cinema. Good job. Give excellent examples. Let's listen to Nestor. Please, 2 of your examples, Nestor.
Yes, teacher. I rather paint than draw, and I prefer to do exercise in the park rather than at home.
Excellent. Thank you. Very good, Nestor. Beautiful examples. Adriana, read 2 of your examples, please.
Okay. I would rather listening pop music than reggaeton. I tend to prefer singing in a party to dance.
Yes, excellent. Singing to dancing. Thank you, Adriana. Excellent. Mayra, could you read your examples, please? Is Mayra here or Mayra is still?
Yes, I'm here. Sorry. Yes,
Okay,
I prefer the thriller to the romance, and I tend to prefer jeans to skirts.
Excellent. You feel comfortable wearing jeans?
Yes, it's more
Yes.
comfortable for me.
Yeah, excellent. I totally agree with you. I think the same. Let's go with Jessica. I see you have 4 examples. Please read 2 of them. Jessica Calderon. Jessica
Hello.
1, Jessica 2, Jessica is there.
Hello.
Yes,
I
Jessica.
prefer singing romantic music to rock music. I prefer drawing flowers to house. I prefer playing the guitar to the piano. I prefer cooking the shrimp ceviche to Fanesca.
Okay, so I prefer drawing flowers to houses. Okay, if the first is in plural, flowers, the second also in plural, houses. Or I prefer drawing a flower to a house. Yes, singular, singular, plural, plural. Thank you, Jessica.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Schubert?
Okay, miss, thank you.
Go ahead, Schubert, and then we listen to Camila. Yes? Start, please, Schubert.
Okay, I prefer watching comedy movies. I prefer eating pizza to salt. I prefer dancing salsa. I prefer listening romantic music.
Okay, you prefer listening romantic music to?
Bachata music.
Okay, to bachata music. Excellent. Thank you, Schubert. Good examples. Let's
Okay.
listen to Camila.
Yes. I think to wear shorts. I think to prefer shorts. I prefer to sheets on my couch than in my room. Better do homework at the home. I thought at other people's house.
Okay, so maybe you prefer to do your homework at home to the school, maybe, right? Okay, thank you, Camila. Thank you for your examples and for reading. And Demon, would you read your examples? Demon 1, Demon 2, Demon 3. Okay, Maribel. Let's finish with Maribel and we go to our last activity.
Okay. I prefer to cook rather than buy food. I prefer learning English to French.
To French, excellent. Very good. So when we write languages, the languages always begin with a capital letter. Yes, don't forget.
Okay.
In this case, like this. English, French, Korean, always with the capital letter at the beginning. Yes, it's the same with months, April, January, capital letter. Days of the week, Sunday, Monday, capital letter. Yes, excellent. And you're welcome, Maribel. Fanny, are you a volunteer? Yes, Fanny, are you a volunteer? Okay, we listen to you.
Teachers. So I prefer tomatoes to onions. I prefer studying English to science. I prefer singing romantic songs rather than dancing rock and roll. I would rather swimming than running. Please tell me if this example is right or wrong, please.
I would rather swim.
Swim. Okay, thank you. I would rather swim than run. Is it okay?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Right.
And I tend to prefer eating to cooking.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah. Okay.
Eating to cooking. Good job. Excellent examples, Fanny. Thank you. You're welcome. So I'm really happy with your examples. I mean, this means that you understood. Yes. And to finish, we have 4 minutes. So let's open just some numbers. These are very, long numbers. Yes. So is there a volunteer to open one? For example, I want to open 324. And this is my question. Would you rather travel into the past or in the future? This is my question. Well, I would rather travel to the past. I would rather travel to the past because in the past, I didn't work. Yes, I was playing with my friends, enjoying life. I went to school. I was a happy girl. That's why I want to travel to the past. My answer is I would rather travel. I would rather travel to the past. That means that I prefer the past, right? This is what you have to do. Answer one of my questions. Is there a brave person in the class? Who says me before to finish? Who or I call some victims? You have to open one of these big numbers. If there is not one, I can call, or maybe someone is raising hand. Excellent, I have my volunteers here. Let's start with Fanny and let's finish with Kenya. Yes, Fanny,
okay.
What number?
1,500.
Good job. Do you prefer eating out or eating at home?
So I prefer eating out.
Eating out. Good job. You prefer eating out to eating at home. Very good.
Yes.
Excellent. Thank you. Let's go to Kenya. What number?
56.
56.
56. Yeah.
Would you rather give up chocolate or give up beer?
Chocolate. Absolutely. I prefer chocolate.
Oh,
Chocolate.
but give up means stop eating.
Oh, okay. I prefer give up drinking beer.
Yeah, so I was like, okay, good job. Very good. So, could you repeat your answer?
I prefer giving up. I prefer give up drinking beer.
Drinking beer. Excellent. Thank you. And okay, let's see who's raising your hand, Adriana. Okay, then we go with Schubert. Yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Oh, please, what number?
250.
250. Here we have. Would you rather live in a big house in the countryside or a small flat in the city?
It's a little difficult. I would rather I would rather live no, I would like to live, right?
I would rather live.
Okay. I would rather live in a small flat in the city.
Why?
Because in the city I have everything like hospitals, maybe cinema, more technology, than live in the countryside like smart animals and others.
Exactly, yes. In the city, you have everything, right? All the places near to you. Very good, thank you. And let's see, it was Schubert.
Okay, miss.
Okay.
The number 652.
652. Do you prefer to drive or to ride a bike?
I prefer driving to bike.
You prefer driving to riding a bike?
To ride a bike.
Yes, don't forget, driving to riding a bike.
Okay, I prefer riding a bike.
Okay,
No?
you prefer. It's okay, yes, but it's better to say I prefer driving or I prefer riding a bike to driving.
Okay.
Yeah?
Okay, miss.
Thank you.
Thank
So we finished with Schubert today, and I want to listen another person. Okay, let's finish with Maribel. Maribel, what number? There are a lot of numbers here.
Teacher, me.
Yes, please.
Here. My choice 7,536.
Excellent. The question is, do you prefer traveling with friends or with family? Hard decision.
No, I prefer traveling with my family.
Okay, why? Why with your family?
The best.
Yeah, family is the best, always with us, right? Good job. Thank you. Thank you for your answers. I would love to continue talking and talking with you, practicing English, but it's time to say goodbye for now. Yes. So everybody, please saying bye-bye in the chat. Bye-bye. See you next week. See you next week. Bye-bye. See you. Take care. Yes. Enjoy your weekend. Yes.
See you later, teacher.
Go to the cinema. Enjoy it with your family and friends.